Okay, so the first project that I'm going to show you how to do is our coffee filter macchia. So you are going to need a coffee filter, a paper plate to put your coffee filter on so that your desk doesn't get covered in marker. You're going to need some regular old markers from your desk, and we are going to have some permanent markers that you can use, and you're going to share those with your group. Now, as we know, permanent markers stain things, so be extra careful with them. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make this shape, which is a perfect circle, a little more organic. We don't want it to be so even. Don't cut off too much, but just trim some little swirls out of the edge. See how I'm just going to cut a little bit in here and cut that off. See, it's not even anymore. And then I'm going to come over here on this side and make this a little curvy. There's no right or wrong to this. But you don't want to cut off too much or your macchia is going to end up looking kind of wimpy and small. You don't want it to be too small. See how mine is kind of a blob now. So now you get to color your creation. You can choose whether you want yours to be warm colors or cool colors. I think I'm going to start with some warm colors. So I'm going to start with orange and red. And I'm just going to make some swirls on here. You can just make patches of colors. When we are done with this, we're going to spray it with spray starch. And all these colors are going to run together. So you don't have to make a particular pattern. You just want to put some color on here. I'm just putting some color. This is kind of a job where there's really no wrong way to do it. See, I have some red on here. And see why we have a paper plate underneath? Yeah, you don't want that on your desk. So, through the magic of video, I'm going to have this all colored in a minute. Okay, so here I have mine all colored with my regular markers. Now you are going to take a permanent marker and first put your initials down here at the bottom. This is going to be the bottom of your macchia. So I'm going to put my initials on there, pretty small, but that way we can tell whose is whose when it's all done. And now we're going to add some permanent markers in a few spots because when we spray this with starch, all of this is going to run together, but permanent marker doesn't run. And so my initials and anything else I put on here with permanent marker will stay where you put it. So the first thing I'm going to do is go around the edge, and I think I'm going to stay with another warm color on the edge. So I'm going to color it around the edge with my permanent marker here and make a rim. Again, this does not have to be even or perfect. This is organic, which means it's flowing and it doesn't have to be even and geometric. And my dog is pawing at my leg right now. He doesn't know about things like art. He doesn't appreciate these things. So anyway, I'm going to put that around there. I won't finish quite all of it. And then you're going to add some spots, just like Dale Chihuly's pieces have spots on them. And he, of course, would use pieces of glass to add the spots, but we are just going to use our permanent marker. So I'm going to put a few little circles on here, like that. I'm just going to add a couple. Ooh, they look very dark with that, the green does. Just like that. And now, when I come back, we're going to show you the magic that happens when you get to spray it with spray starch. Okay, when you are all done coloring your piece, we're going to get to the fun part. So, in the back of your class, you're going to have an area that has newspapers put around so that you don't get spray starch all over everything. You're going to need a cup. We're using the blue cups for this. And you're going to spray this baby with starch, and then you're going to put it on your cup. And when it dries, the starch will make your piece stiff, and it'll turn out shaped like that. So, I am going to lay this back on my paper plate, and I'm going to give it a couple of sprays. So you're going to hold it about this far away. You don't want it too close, or it'll just glob up on there. And just go, then I'm just going to go 1, 2. Okay. And I can see on the paper plate that it's already running. Then I'm going to set this on here. Ew, it smells like spray starch. And smush it down on here. And then you can kind of use your fingers to swirl it around too. And then I'm going to actually pull my edges out a little bit like this, because I want my edges to kind of pop out when it's dried. And now you just leave it like that. So you'll set it aside, and you'll work on your other project if you haven't done that yet.